In this video, I am talking about my first 6 months of diamond painting and 6 months of producing consistent diamond painting content on YouTube. It'll be little lessons that I've learned, what I've noticed, tips and tricks that I still use and have tried out, and just, my experience. I absolutely love this hobby more than I did 6 months ago when I had first started producing content. I love going back and watching myself evolve and learn and fumble around and document my learning. Diamond painting isn't hard. You don't have to be an experienced person to enjoy it. And that's, I think, one of the things I love most about it, because it's a creative outlet without having to create something from scratch. You're just bringing an existing art piece that you love to life. And I think I love it more than I did. And I love going back and seeing some of the canvases that I previously done and just the memories that come along with it. So let's kind of dive in. My name is Marissa and I make a variety of diamond art content. If that interests you, consider subscribing. Don't forget to like and comment as well. I want to hear your experience. I want to hear your story of diamond painting and just the things that kind of stick with you and you love and you don't love. I want to start with just like the accessories things of like how I set up diamond painting. I still use a little container to keep everything accessible. I don't use such a big bucket anymore. Right now I am kitted up into bags and I'm using just one of these to keep little doodads that I use every once in a while. I guess I can put it all together for you so you can see. So normally when I'm done diamond painting or I'm done using a release paper or I'm cleaning up, I put everything in this container. These are the extra bags that I've already emptied out. I put my trays in here. I have the little dryer sheets in here because I don't put one in every bag. I only put them in the bags that's needed for the static. So I still stand by having a little container that you could have accessibly, so you're not digging through drawers constantly or whatnot. So it's all just in one place. I can put it in my drawer when I'm done and take it out when I need it. I also still stand by my trash cup, which my daughter put old slime in. This is like the plastic because I cut in rows right here. And then I do release papers per row. So whenever I cut that, I just put that in here. Little balls of wax, washi tape, just the little trash bits that go along with diamond painting, I still use. Now, recently I decided I'm on a no-buy. I want to try to spend responsibly and not above my means. But I was struggling with putty and I have learned that you could adjust your putty. It might not be perfect, but you could get it to work better for you with using cornstarch. I have a video more thoroughly detailing on how I did it, my results, and just the whole experiment behind it, of what made me come to these conclusions. That'll be out shortly. But yeah, so you could use a little bit of cornstarch if your putty is too moist or just isn't behaving the way you need it to in your climate while you're still searching for whatever, or you just don't want to waste a bunch of money. Add a little bit of cornstarch to your putty. You can do little bits at a time until you get it to a consistency that works best for you. Some brands still would work better than others, but I think that's just a great tip that I wish I had experimented with a little bit sooner, and it's great. It's definitely saved me some money. I mentioned it in my first video that the first month of me diamond painting, it was FOMO. I don't want to miss out. I don't want to I don't want to not get these canvases. And I just built my stash from one company. And then I kind of tried little things after that when I was like, oh, there's so much more out there. I wish that I had bought just a couple from, a company and expanded my stash from other companies. So now I'm in a no-buy and I only have a couple companies to go through. But I think I'm going to take advantage of that and use and do more of what was in my stash. I do want to keep a reasonable stash. I want to make it so that I can get through all of everything that I own, or I could also do host giveaways and stuff like that. I do stick by upgrades. If you decide you want to be an avid diamond painter or you diamond paint consistently, I highly suggest some of your first upgrades be pens and trays, and then kind of go from there. I think those are a must. Those little tiny pens that come with kits hurt my hands and are just not very comfortable. The new Diamond Art Club pens are okay. I think they can get you by in a pinch, but I still think you need something a little bit more durable and reliable. They have options, I guess, to where you can buy like a metal tip for the rickety pen that comes with it. I'm sorry, I think it's rickety. I know Ivy pens are an option that are durable. I want to get one so bad, that are the refillable type that have just durability. Diamond Art Club might get there, but might not. But I do really think that one of the first investments, if you do decide that this is going to be something you're going to do consistently, upgrade your pens and your trays. That is a must. Oh, I have learned that it is so easy to become unorganized. So just keep in mind to every once in a while, go through all your stuff and organize it, see what you actually need, what you don't need. There are so many de-stash groups that you could get rid of stuff that you're just not using, or if you find something that just doesn't work for you, you could always resell it. There's a huge resale market here. And I love and hate the resale market, I've decided. I love that it makes things accessible for people that normally can't get something because it's more expensive. But there's also people that take advantage of it and will buy a hot item because they know it's going to sell out and then try to sell it for double to triple the price. So I don't like that. But I also love that it's an option for you to be able to get some stuff on your wish list or try new stuff at a more reasonable price. So just, I guess it's based on what you look for. I am a multi-placer. I love multi-placing. It was kind of more of a struggle when I first started. It takes practice. It's not impossible, and it's just something you have to decide on if it works for you or not. It definitely speeds up time. I am not a perfectionist. I think sometimes if you are a perfectionist, it can take a little bit to get used to it, or some people just do tweezers. So just experiment and try something that works, that's new but can work for you. I suggest if you want to get into multi-placing, to start with smaller multi-placers and then move up as you get used to them and try different techniques. There's so many YouTube videos out there that show different techniques of multi-placing. And I do think it does speed up your process. At first, it doesn't seem like it will because you're trying to figure out how to do it, how to fix stuff. And it can get a little overwhelming, especially if you're not used to it. That's why I say start with a smaller placer first. But, you know, consistency, practice, little techniques, and you'll eventually get to a way that it works for you. Also, I think it's important for you to understand your environment and stuff when you're first starting out, to understand your environment for what you need in a putty. But I still think that getting museum putty is a great beginner step, or something like that, like a blue tack or museum putty to first start, to see how it behaves in your environment, and then adding cornstarch, and then deciding there if you're a hard presser or a light presser, and kind of just gauging it from there and seeing what it is you actually need in putty before adventuring out and trying a bunch of new companies. Pure Bliss Wax Co. is a softer putty, smells amazing, great quality, consistent quality. I've actually have quite a few from there. Gifted to me, I won one, and then I also just got a mystery pack because I wanted to try it. And I realized it doesn't work the best in my environment. I added a little bit of cornstarch to it to dry it out. It's still a little too soft because I am a hard presser, but it has really made the longevity of it work better for me with just adding some cornstarch. But I have also learned that the Randa's, I always want to say Randa's Crafty Corner is a drier putty, but it also has a denser, thicker consistency, and that works better for me because I live in a hot, dry climate and I'm a hard presser. So I think starting with museum putty as like a baseline so you can learn kind of what you are and add cornstarch as you go. Do you need a drier putty, or do you like it better when it is, I'm gonna say the M word, more moist? And that worked good for you. And it just kind of gives you something to judge based on. And then when you're ready, you could ask a Facebook group or Reddit or whatever and say, hey, what companies have a drier putty? What companies have a thinner, more moist putty? I am this type of presser. And then you can kind of start there versus just going in blindly. I wish I'd kind of done that before. I just wanted to try everything. I still want to try everything. But I've also learned that this hobby can get very expensive, and I really want to promote, what is it called? I really want to promote responsible spending, because it is so easy to see, you know, all these content creators trying all of these new things, and then they have, as a viewer, the sense of missing out. And I think sometimes those lines can get crossed of like, you see this creator trying all of these new things, but I'm trying these new things so that you don't have to. If you see something that can possibly work for you, I want you to be able to decide that without having to try a bunch of new things. Now, I want to try a bunch of new things, but I wanted to do it in a way that was beneficial for a bunch of people. So if you're looking for something specific, I also want to try to find new things and support all of the new businesses. And it's really hard to do that as a single individual. So that's also why I wanted a platform. Overconsumption is a fear of mine because I feel like I fall into that trap of wanting to buy everything, but I realize I don't have to. I could promote people without it, and that's kind of where the What's Up shop happened. Like, yes, I could want to try everything all day long, but realistically, can I afford it? No. But I also want to promote small companies and whatnot. So that's kind of where that idea came from, because I wanted a way that I could help benefit everyone around me while also saving my little wallet. Another thing that I've learned is that this hobby isn't just about laying drills. It is a lot about collecting canvases. And at first I was kind of confused. I'm like, why do people want all of these big stashes if they're no way going to go through or get every single one of their canvases done? Like, it just didn't make me, it was not judgment based. It was just a, hey, I've noticed this, why? And then I kind of thought about it and I realized I do it too a little bit. Sometimes it is just about collecting the art, and it's okay to be an art collector. It's, I think, a sub part of this hobby of it's not just about laying drills. It's about collecting and supporting your favorite artist, or if you like this certain theme and you really just want to have many options in that theme, and just knowing that you have it can be a comfort, or wanting to get to it eventually, or just, you know, seeing it, or just, you know what I mean? I understand now it's not just about the process. It might be just about the process or more about the process for me. But for others, it's a lot about collecting and getting the joy from it. As long as, I keep saying it, as long as you're doing it responsibly and it's within your means, then I say go for it. Do what brings you joy. The hobby isn't just laying drills. It's also collecting beautiful art. And I could understand that. Doing this hobby also made me try Etsy and small independent shops for the first time, and it really opened my eyes. Oh my God, they are so much more creative, and it has a personal touch to it. You get little stickers and goodie bags and treats, and opening up is like getting a snail mail letter from a new friend, and I absolutely just fell in love with that aspect of it. I wish I had adventured out more into Etsy for all of my other hobby adventures that I went on, because I was missing out so much. I friggin' decided I love searching and finding new independent shop owners and small shops, because wow, the quality is also seems to be better. Yeah, the price could be a little bit higher, but there's reasons for that, and I support it 100%. But normally it's more morally driven, I've learned, or they just want to approach things differently than some of the bigger companies, and I absolutely love that so much. I mean, of course, there's always going to be other companies that make bad choices or run things a little bit differently, but I haven't really come across that yet, and maybe someday. But so far, my experiences with all small shops and small companies has been amazing, and it's nice to actually catch them while they're small. I hope they all grow up, and I hope they all end up being big, successful companies, because I mean, that is always a goal, right? But just to catch them in this personal, independent area of their life is amazing to me. I friggin' love it. So I highly suggest you check out my What's Up shop. A lot of them are independent. I do offer all companies to email me, but a lot of smaller companies are the ones that tend to respond and be very appreciative and have more innovative ideas and stuff like that. So if you're interested in trying new things or something you can do, I highly suggest seeing that. Also, the trap of FOMO. I know this is kind of everywhere. I'm kind of doing this a little bit just off the top of my head. I was working on this and then I looked at the date and realized it had been 6 months. So I just kind of wanted to talk about it and just say it's a 6-month anniversary. What was I getting into? Oh yeah, back to the FOMO thing. Sometimes I will love something and I base on if it's going to go on my wish list or if I'm going to get it at some point. It based on like how many times I go back to something. So I will put it on a wish list and I go through and I dream shop or go through at least like once a week and see how I feel about that art still. And sometimes I end up loving it more and more and more when I go back to it. And then that's how I know it's a must need and something to save up for. Other times I'm like, I thought I loved this so much and I'm relieved that I didn't just jump on the bandwagon and just buy it because because I might miss out, or because at that moment I loved it, but then now I look back at it and it's not as, I don't get the same physical, visceral reaction that I originally did. Does that make sense? So that's how I'm deciding now, from now on, if I'm going to purchase or not. Like, there are quite a few from quite a few companies that I'm like, I have to buy this. I need this in my life. There's a few from Lazy River Crafts and then Jaded Gem Shop that are just, that I'm going to be doing. Same thing with pens. Like, if you want to do a custom turning pen, I would look at all of the companies and see what they all offer and look at all of their reviews and decide that way. Like, look at the quality, longevity, and just how consistent they are in reviews, and then kind of go from there, because you have so many options out there now that I feel like some price gouge for no reason, and then you can find something similar for more affordable price that's probably a decent quality, like better quality too. So just take your time is what I'm learning. Like, it will all be there. You don't need to build it all up at once. This is something that's going to be a part of my life specifically for many years, and I will build stuff up right away. When I first started, I was kind of like, I have to try this, I have to try this, I need this, and I was seeing everybody have all of these things already and whatnot, and then I kind of took a step back and was like, I'm gonna get there. I want to take my time and I want to document it, and I want to really truly see what I have and use what I have and what I'm getting, so it's not a constant rotation of me getting unnecessary shit just to have unnecessary shit. Like, I want to enjoy my experience. I want to, if I love something, I want to use it for a while, because if it's not broke, don't change it. you know, but sometimes you do just get the itch to try something new as well. But just slow down for a second and enjoy, like this is me talking to myself, and enjoy what you have. And that has really saved my wallet and saved me mentally from stressing and being like, I'm showing the same things over and over again. And I've come to realize the subscribers don't care if they see you using something consistently and using it and whatnot. Then I feel like it also gives a chance for a viewer to trust your actual review on it, not just, oh, I used this for 2 days and I like it. You know, like I've been using this tray since July, and then I've been using the Yellow Dog trays since July too, and I have my thoughts about both of them. They both have pros and cons, and I'm taking my time, and I'll do comparison videos on trays every once in a while, and you can go back through my videos and see me using each of them. That's the type of platform that I want to start building, is just consistency. I have also realized diamond painting is just easy. It's not hard to become a seasoned diamond painter. There's only so many ways you could lay drills, but sometimes to keep it a little bit more exciting, this is something I want to do random squares once in a while. You know, I tend to get so focused on putting together a game plan for a canvas and sticking to that game plan. Before, when I first started, it was no matter what, the top right to left. And it took me months to, not like I say it like I've been doing this forever. It took me at least a good 4 months before I realized I do better with, yes, still top to bottom, but going from left to right, because I am right-handed. So now I don't have to worry about sticking my hand in the glue, you know? So that has been a blessing, and I wish I would have done it earlier. I'm getting bored of just doing it this way, so it's okay to just change it up every once in a while. And then I've also learned that the light pad is only beneficial for me at night. I haven't really reached for it as much as I thought I would. I thought it was going to have to be a necessity. I thought that I wasn't going to be able to diamond paint without it, but it turns out it can hurt my eyes a little bit more and be a little bit more triggering for a headache for me to diamond paint with the light pad. So my suggestion is, if you diamond paint at night, yes, get a light pad, but also you don't need the giant expensive light pads. You can start with just a little one to see if it's gonna work for you and just put it under the area that you're working. And I think that'd be a good way to test it out so you don't have to spend $1 billion on a new one. Does that make sense? And then I also don't find myself watching as much content creators as I did when I first started. I ventured out back to my old regulars of like CC Suarez, Swoop, and just my normal content that I would kind of watch, more of a documentary style or deep dives into companies, or sometimes beauty influencers and stuff like that. I have found that I get a little bit burnt out on diamond painting if I am diamond painting and consistently listening to things about diamond painting and watching diamond painting. It can very easily take over your life, and I feel like that would feed into burnout, and I really don't want to burn out because I love this hobby, and obviously I've made a channel about it. If I watch your content, no, that's because I truly will watch it and love it and want to interact with it. I watch things on 2 times speed because sometimes time is a bitch. There's not enough of it. I have 2 jobs now, plus my husband, plus my kids, plus I like to diamond paint, plus YouTube takes a lot of time, and I want to start gearing into my experience of being on YouTube for 6 months consistently posting about diamond painting content. When I first started, it felt like, oh, it's so accepting, and you know, I'm gonna have all of these friends, and I've learned that's not the case. There's like subdivisions into the community, and it's just like any other environment where you get a bunch of people together and you're gonna either clash with some people or you're not gonna clash with some people, and it's just to be expected. I used to think that every creator would be like, have the love of this hobby like me and want to be friends. And I've learned it's more of a coworker existence. Does that make sense? They're coworkers. There's some coworkers that you just love and you want to build a true friendship with. There's other coworkers that are just there doing their thing and you mind your own business, they mind their own business. And I think that has released so much pressure. Because sometimes when you're a people pleaser, which I am, you want everyone to love you. And that's a normal, natural response, but it also comes to a point for you to realize that's never going to happen. And that honestly has made making content more fun almost. Like I am truly starting to find my own little nook, my own little community. You know, I love that. And I was watching Lizette's results to her survey thing today, and I absolutely came to the same conclusion as her of the diamond community isn't one big community. It is a bunch of little communities that makes up the big community. So that was interesting, and just like the change of thought towards it. So now I gear my content more towards people that I'm attracted to, that could be attracted to, you know, the type of content that I make, but also just more what I want to make. I'm not so much worried about offending anybody anymore, or it's going to happen no matter what you do whenever you open your mouth. Like, that's just the conclusion that I've come to. I don't know if subscribers see that, because there's a lot of cross. Obviously, in a big community like this, you're going to have some subscribed to me that are subscribed to other people, and it is what it is. And I think that that has opened up so much beneficial mental health things for me. Like, it's really made me put into practice what my therapist has had me work through before, and it was beneficial. And coming to that conclusion myself and being able to talk about it, and my therapist being proud of me for that and being like, hey, look, you've grown. You're not a pushover and you're not afraid to speak your mind anymore. Like, congratulations. It was pretty cool. I friggin' loved that. Another thing that I've learned, which kind of goes into the mass thing of like a bunch of people, I realized that there was no one talking about anything that's normal, the normal conversations behind closed doors. I stepped on a landmine with that. Like, if you have a differing opinion that's not with the masses and talk negative about anything, it's like people take it as though you are attacking people's mental health and like ruining something that's already there and already happening. It was weird. But it made me kind of take off my rose-colored glasses. Into my first video, I had talked about how welcoming and how I had seen no drama in this community and how open arms and beautiful it was. And granted, it did take a long time for me to kind of see the underbelly of a community, and I should have expected it. It's always going to be there, and it's face value, or if you're just a regular listener, this is just coming from like the creative aspect of creating content. Where am I going with this? I kind of took, like, the rose-colored glasses are off, and this community is so welcoming if you are a normal viewer just participating in diamond painting and casually diamond painting and being like, oh, hey, okay, I'm just gonna watch these few people and be there. But if you're super avid and you become a big part of the community and you're actively searching it out and trying to integrate yourself into it, that's where you kind of learn of the subdivisions of the community, and it's not as welcoming as though you would think it would be, in my opinion. But I think that's going to be another video one day. But it is still welcoming enough that I have found some amazing people. I'm still meeting and finding amazing people, and I'm learning the different quirks of the whole community, and I can understand the different subdivisions and the people that have differing opinions, and I respect them in that so much. And it has really helped me grow as a person. But it also has really made me realize that there's room for everyone, and anything and any type of person can come to this community and find what they need. I have a big thing that it's not just diamond painting, it's more. Like, this could help. It's such a mental health positive community that you could literally find anyone and anything that you need and it'll be there. And I think that's what I've come to realize the most of, yeah, some might not like me, and yeah, it could be a bitch sometimes to navigate and figure out which relationships are genuine and which ones aren't, or what's going to be said behind closed doors, because this place can be catty as shit, and I'm not going to sit there and hide that anymore. But there's also that essence of true openness and true happiness and friendships and just people that you click with. And I think that's the beauty of it, is like once you find your little spot, it's there. And I think anyone, any individual, any creator, anybody can find that. And I have so much respect for all creators on here because of that, because they're finding their people. They're putting themselves out there, and it's so hard. So whether I could still respect and talk about any and all creators on this platform, because I do see and know the courage that it has on there, and I know that they will find their audience. And I know that they could, anyone and all can thrive on here. It just depends on the work that you want to put in it. And it just depends on, you know, your genuineness. And it's, you got to find what works for you. And once you have that mentality, it clears up the way. It can open up your creative little soul and excite you again. So I want to say that if you've considered starting a YouTube channel in the community for diamond painting, do it. You will find your people, you will find your not people, and you will find and learn things. And it is so much fun. It is so nerve-wracking. It is so challenging, and it is beautiful. So I think that there's enough room for everybody. I don't want this to be a complaint fest. I got the rose-colored glasses stuff out of the way. That's just part of my personal experience. It's not going to be everyone's experience, and it isn't everyone's experience. I'm almost done. I only have like this little itty-bitty part right here to do. Going back to the beginning of things, I still love testing and trying out new tips and tricks. There's going to be things always, with how many people are in this community and learn different techniques and stuff, I will always be able to find something new to try, and I friggin' love that. That's what keeps drawing me back, is it's really simple and can be super easy, but there's also ways to make it intriguing and interesting and try new things, and I think that's what just keeps drawing me back. Plus the community is amazing. You know, and I truly feel like I've started to carve my little way in, and thank you guys. So that is my first 6 months of diamond painting, and I've fallen in love with it more and more every single time I start to finish a canvas. Like, I just finished this little section. I feel like I've been talking for friggin' ever. I'm gonna have to cut this down a lot. I do want to talk a little bit about events, because I learned that they can get a little overwhelming if you do too many. So I'm trying to keep it to like one a month, maybe one every other month, so that I can actively participate, especially now that I have a job and have a little less time to devote to diamond painting. But it is also a great way to try new things. So if you're on a budget and you already have some diamond paintings, or if you want to try new accessories and stuff like that, find an event, put in and try to win some stuff. Like, it is so common to have so many events going on. I will link a Facebook group down below, or diamond painting events. It's a Facebook group called Diamond Painting Events, and you could find one for just about anything all year round, and I highly suggest that, because it's a great way and a resource to try new stuff if you can't afford it. And also just to kind of learn the community a little bit more and find people that are interested in the same style you are, or advocating for something that you want to support and advocate yourself to. I really think that that is so much fun, and one of the biggest things that I've found in this community. And I truly have found some great connections that way, and I have tried some great tools and accessories that way too. So that is one suggestion that I do wish I'd started a little bit earlier, but didn't overwhelm myself so much about. So I don't know, that's always a plus. And last but not least, this is probably one of the most giving, understanding communities I've ever been involved in. There's so much caring. If you're struggling in any way or want to try new things or just need someone to listen to or have someone listen to you, like honestly, if you're struggling or if you want to find something, people will corral around you. Especially if you become a big part of this community, it is just so giving. And I think that is also what draws me to it. And I want to thank each and every person who watches my stuff for your generosity and just your beautiful soul. Like, I don't think I ever have loved and cared about so many people that I have met through this as I have in any other community. And I've been parts of many communities. So thank you for that. And just keep that in mind. This is a generous and beautiful community altogether. So many companies will be open and willing to sponsor so many different types of events. So if you're thinking about hosting an event, especially if it's like an important one that raises awareness or something, I guarantee you'll find someone out there to sponsor it. Don't be afraid to do that. I will eventually host an event at some point. And then also, me and Naomi from House of Miscellanea are compiling a survey, kind of like Lizette did, but with harder hitting questions. Hers was a great introduction and interesting to just get a general census of the community. If you haven't watched it, I highly suggest you do. And me and Naomi wanted to do one with harder hitting questions about just different topics and stuff. And if you're interested in putting your input into it, join House of Miscellanea's Discord group, and you can put any of the questions that you want asked or can possibly be included into the survey in the little chat line thing for that. I'll have to get the invite link to our Discord. So if you're interested in another survey going around with harder hitting questions of things of what would normally not be talked about or asked about either creators or companies or diamond painting in general or anything like that, go ahead and join that and put your 2 cents in. Yeah, so I'm super excited for that collaboration. I look forward to it. I hope you enjoyed this content. That's just a little bit about my first 6 months of diamond painting, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Bye.